restaurant in Five Points, a Cuban restaurant. And so we're covering some of those stories. Not all of them. We can do a better job.
Yeah.
Always could do a better job, but we're covering stories. They're just not always
And
rising to the top. But that's the audience that's
Hispanic,
making that.
I think the Hispanic community is actually very fairly, like, I think I see myself represented there too. But I don't see many of the African American community. And it's something that I'm just realizing.
We had one more question here.
Yeah, talking about Hispanic community, I came from Venezuela. I'm a journalist in Venezuela, or I used to be a journalist in Venezuela. And I came with a different point of view of journalism. And I'm so, I have to say, so admired for every people here because I can feel like I'm surrounded by colleagues, and it's like feel like I'm with journalists in Venezuela too, but speaking in English. And my question is, what are you guys, like as a managers in a media company, what are you guys looking for someone who's applying for a job in media company, doing journalism or starting from zero? What are you guys looking for example, me or other person from Hispanic community who wants to have opportunity in the media company and the journalists here in the United States?
I think we would tell you whether you're Hispanic or black or white or whatever. I think, I don't want to speak for all of us, but I'm pretty sure this is accurate. Driven, accurate, true journalists who care, who are going to put in the hours, who quite frankly don't think our business is dying, who believe in it. To my point earlier, who can tell a story. I'm going to keep hitting on the writing. I mean, just learn to be good writers and storytellers. But I think it's people who are engaged in their communities and curious, and it's all of those things. You know, and then on air, just really good MMJs or journalists.
And what are you passionate about? I know that passion is a word I probably use too much, but I have it, so I use it. If you have people who will come and say, I will do anything. Just give me a job and I'll do anything. Well, I don't really want somebody who will just do anything. I'd like you to have some, are you really passionate about writing? Are you passionate about shooting? Are you passionate about editing, producing? What's your true passion? Maybe you can learn some other things too, but to say like, well, I don't really, whatever you guys want me to do, I can do it. Doesn't really show like, this is what I'm really passionate about.
Be also engaged in your community and be able to find stories and bring them to the forefront within your community. I think that's a huge benefit. And also be skeptical. Be skeptical of everything you hear and want to put it to the test. So, and prove that it's true.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, in terms of proving it's true, and kind of to Roger's point a little bit earlier on. So one of the things that I found, so I used to be an investigative journalist back in the day, and now I do communications. And a lot of times in doing communications, and I'm forced to shut down stories. And when I'm shutting down a story, when I'm doing that, I'll go out and I'll talk to a journalist who, in general, a lot of times a TV journalist who hasn't had the opportunity, hasn't had the time to do the back research to find out whether or not a story is true or not. So a lot of times we find ourselves looking at he said, she said stories that are going onto the news. So I'll go out and I'll say, hey, well, here's all the information that you should have researched, but you didn't know it. And so this really isn't actually a story that you're going to go ahead and report in the first place. So my question is, like, do you find yourself in a place where you're so pressured because you are doing so many different tasks that you're not actually able to do the deeper research to find out whether or not something is true, and you find yourself looking at a he said, she said kind of situation?
I'll speak to that, I guess, initially and say that we throw away way more stories than we put on the air every day for exactly the reason you're talking about. That we'll pursue the premise of a story, and if we reach a dead end like that, and we feel like it is going to end up going nowhere, we'll drop it.
Right.
I can only speak for our newsroom, but I absolutely don't feel pressure to put a story like that on television because we have to fill time or whatever. There's a lot of things we can do. So I don't.
I think Morris been often, like, I've seen things reported in, if they're reported in the paper, then sometimes I'll see that a TV journalist or a television journalist will end up following a little bit quicker than they might have otherwise. And I just wonder if there's, how often are you doing more of this enterprise journalism versus kind of that you know, day-to-day, he said, she said. I mean, do you do the, like, how do I put this? Do you find yourself in a position where you would prefer to get a quote from one person and get a quote from another person versus actually doing the long-term research to find out about a story and then reporting about the facts versus what the actual he said, she said are?
Well, I think the point
Does
of
that
this,
make sense?
yeah, absolutely does, and I think that the point of this panel, you know, we have to get to a place where that's the kind of work we're doing, where we are gonna die. You know, we have to be, you know, working on developing enterprise stories, or if it is a daily news story, enterprising off of that to develop a more meaningful story. And, you know, if we are, you know, doing the kind of work that you're talking about, where you're like just laying out a couple of sides of an issue, you know, that you haven't well researched and you haven't well interviewed on it, then, yeah, we are doomed. That's not what you're hearing. I say that I hope that we're hearing is at least the direction we're all trying to go is much more meaningful reporting and much more meaningful storytelling, which includes all the research that you talk about.
Well, it's interesting, I want to add something, because I've been doing this now for 35 years, and I think Roger has me beat by about 20.
We don't need to get into
But, you know, it's so funny because in all the research I've seen in the course of my career, weather was the #1 driver and breaking news. And it's so fascinating, both at Fox and at KMGH now, research I've seen over the last 3 to 4 years, the #1 driver is accuracy and trustworthiness. So where we've always thought weather, and that's still hugely important, but in this political climate and with a lot of stuff that goes on online and all that, accuracy is so important. And I think all of us would tell you that that's, as local journalists, what we strive for. You know, we just started a brand 360, which is to tell all points of view, because what we realized in watching our newscasts and our stories, and quite frankly, others in the market, not that we don't think we're doing it, I think we all, I could tell you right now, I watched 3 in our newsroom, and I in hindsight, I was like, yeah, we did not even begin to tell the whole story. And we think we do, and we intend to do that, but we don't always do that. So I think it's really important to step back and go, okay, wait a second. Let's not just cover the people who don't want the city park trees to come down. We've got to make sure we see the other side of all of that, and I think probably all of us attempt to do that.
And I think if the question is about people not having enough time, when we come back to this conversation about MSJs, MMJs, if that's where the question stems from, that somebody just, you know, everybody has to turn something all the time. I think people now have more time than they ever did. Because if you do have, if you look at a model where other, you know, a photographer is going out to shoot a package or whatever that might be, you're actually freeing up other people to do that type of investigation and to make the calls. And I don't think any of us, I don't know, but you know, we don't rush stories on the air to say like, that story has to get on tonight. I mean, that person will get the time they need if it's a day or it's a 2-day, you know, for Chris Hansen, it was 2 years. So, you know, people are getting more time because there are more people to do what they might have been running out to do. So I would say that.
I'm curious as to what outlets each of you see as your greatest competition from a news gathering perspective. Is it each other? Is it them opposed to some other newspaper? Is it a digital-only platform like Denverite? And just in this day and age, what's your biggest competition?
A whole of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say everyone.
We just have to be unique and build our own brands. I don't know that we, I mean, sure, at the end of the ratings, we all look like, haha, we beat them, or oh, bummer, they beat us. But I think what we're all focused on is we're tunnel vision in the sense of just succeed. Just have good content that people consume. I mean, if we look at ratings, it's, I don't know that it's because one of us beats the other one of us, although I really do hate your station. But, down to is just making sure we're relevant and we're giving people content and they are consuming it, no matter what platform that is. Broadcast, in a lot of ways, is the most important because it's monetized. That's where the money is. So we have to pay attention to that. But I think all of us understand that that's not where everybody's consuming their news. That's just where the money is.
Let's try to get to a little bit of an economic discussion here, because really the underpinning of the thesis of the evening is whether or not television news will survive. And if it's going to survive, it's going to have to be a part of an economically viable business. So let me start by asking the four, do any of the four of you aspire to be general managers?
Yes. Yes.
You do?
Yep.
Tim, I don't see you answering.
I'd like to say that much, I'm still the boss.
So, to the degree that you aspire, what kind of homework have you done on the business models that probably are going to have to be a part of the future in order to survive?
Sure, and that's a tough thing to do when you're in a newsroom and a news director, but I try to spend as much time listening to the GM in meetings and how she handles things. The general sales manager and I work through things, and they try to teach you some of that stuff. But sometimes it's a little bit of on-the-job stuff once you get to that position too. I listen to, I look at the whole dilemma of, 99% of our profit is on TV. 1% is probably what our digital profit is at our station right now. So at the same time, we're looking at how do we make more money in digital? It's a struggle right now. So we're making money hands over fist still on the air, but on digital, not much. So how do I do that? And because in 10 years, I'm going to have to know how to do that, right? Even if you don't have to as much right now.
Well, let's talk a minute about the parallels with the newspaper business. We had two sellout crowds here of people who came to hear about how do we keep the Denver Post from failing and how do we keep it from going under. How much have you done in the way of looking at the parallels between that form of journalism distribution and your own?
Personally, I think that print, raise your hand if you're from print. We love you people. I mean, really honest. And I love every journalist in this building is supporting it, and I think they are. I think print was brilliant in that they saw long before broadcast did the need to get on digital, the need to have websites, and then the need to monetize those websites. I think what we're struggling with in broadcast, and again, that obviously hasn't saved print, especially when you have a hedge fund owner in New York. But I do think that for all of us, and especially for somebody who wants to be a general manager, it really is, the challenge is going to be, you've got to figure out how you're going to monetize it, and nobody's got that answer yet. Broadcast still makes the money, but other platforms are where the people are living.